It's the Last Stand Podcast. And here's your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. Welcome to The Last Stand, the unfiltered, straight talk from some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment. And today our guest comes from the sport of boxing, and without question, he is the hottest young star in the sport. He is the unified lightweight champion of the world. He's known as the Takeover. He's none other than Teofimo Lopez. Champ, welcome to The Last Stand.
Thank you for having me, Brian. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's really good to have you on. So let's get right into it, because what has life been like for you after you get, without question, the biggest win of your career, and you beat the man who everyone basically thought was pound for pound best fighter in the world, and some thought unbeatable?
No, I think that night after, everything happened, and, we got all the belts and, all those things, man. I think I took all that in that day, and that's the type of person I am. I enjoy it for that moment, that night. And then, the next day I move on to what's more at task for me. And, the only thing has changed now is just, recovery. Had to get surgery on my right foot. And the things is now is just trying to stay active as much as possible, even though, I'm injured in one area. It doesn't mean that I can't work up top and everything and stay fit, because I know we got these young, hungry lions trying to come at me as well. So, we're ready for everything.
Did you injure the foot in the fight?
Actually, no. I injured it about like a month before the fight. However, though, I didn't think it was this bad. So, we just, I just started to work around it, put tape around my foot and everything, and just find different ways. We're so close to, fight time and during that time. So, things like that. Come to find out, I had a complete torn ligament and
wow.
some fractures in my foot. And, come fight night, of course it was bothering me, but, we had bought some brand new shoes, and I had double socked my foot. So that way it could at least keep that mobility that I needed to during the fight.
Teofimo, what did your win and the way you got it, what do you think you proved to your critics?
I think what I really did prove is that, I may be young, but doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing when I'm in there. And I think what I proved to everyone is that I am the best. We talk a lot, absolutely, but we get to back it up, and I think the only time I get to back it up is when I'm in that ring to prove it to everyone. I think I showed everyone that night that I am the truth. I am the Takeover, and we did a lot. I think that we broke a barrier there that was there for the longest for the new generation.
You were always confident going into the fight. What do you think, or what did you see that others didn't when you looked at Lomachenko?
I think what people didn't see is that you got to dance with the man. In a sense, if you think about it, you have to move with him. If he moves one way, you got to move with him in that perspective, and take a step back while you do it, because he has short arms. So, and he has to be in range. And I think that was the thing that if you notice after the fight, he even says it, that it was hard for him to reach me. And the reason why is because we made sure that we stood at bay. He couldn't. And when you take someone out of that comfort zone, their whole game plan, it's very difficult for them. And then they get frustrated, and then they start headbutting you.
What do you think you proved to yourself with that victory and that win?
I proved to myself that sky's the limit, and I think that there's so much more that I need to work on at the same time. And I think as well, I think I've shown myself that as long as you put your mind into something and you're determined to do it, you are going to achieve it. And I think that was the best thing about it. And I showed myself that, hey, no matter what age you are, it's all about how bad you want something. And that will take you a long way. Have faith in God and just have him take the wheel for you,
What did you think of Lomachenko coming out immediately, basically after the fight, and letting everyone know that he needed surgery on his right shoulder after the fight, and said that it bothered him so much that he couldn't even throw really his right hook like he needed to.
I think honestly, it sounds like a Mayweather Pacquiao situation. I think that honestly, take the loss and work on what you need to work on, and probably work your way down to 130. However, I think a lot of people are just focused on that. So, I was dealing with injuries throughout camp as well, and obviously it shows. I think that mainly what it takes from that is that you have to understand, and I think this is for every athlete, not even just in boxing, you're not going to go into some type of competition 100%. There's always going to be some type of issue, even when it comes to contact sports, when anything like that, there's a high risk that you're not going to come in 100% come fight night. So, or game day. And I think that you just got to find different ways. And I think adversity for me, I take over that always.
Do you think you guys are too big, too strong for him at 135, that he needs to be at 130?
I think that he's shown that he could stay at 35. Absolutely. I think he's faced top contenders and top fighters that have dominated the division at 135. However, I think for someone like myself, he won't be able to, even if they were talking about rematches and everything like that. You could do it 100 times and Teofimo comes out victorious 100 times. Now I think really what it needs to do is he needs to just go back to where he's more comfortable and where he's more fit at. And I think 130 would be his best suit for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Do you see a rematch at all in the future?
No, they didn't give me a rematch clause at all in the contract. He didn't agree to one. So we were like, okay, I guess we're not doing a rematch. Obviously he was the A side for this fight. I was the B side. So he calls the shots, whatever he wanted for this contract, for the fight to happen. We agreed to all the terms. And I think, honestly, it's a lot of people that are just upset that they didn't see this happen. That they didn't expect this to happen. They expected for Loma to win and go and do what Loma does all the time. And forget about Teofimo. He doesn't need a rematch. But now that Teofimo won, everyone is demanding for that. So I think, honestly, it's just we move on now,
Talk to me about the takeover, because you mentioned it. Would you come up with it and let everyone know the meaning behind it?
So the takeover can mean a lot of things in terms of the fact of what do you want to do in your life, or what do you want to do in your career? You take over someone that is above you, you got to knock them down so you can get there too. That's taking over. And how we look at it, it came back. Takeover actually it was created with my sister, my older sister, back in 2017. And we were coming up with different names and trying to figure out things. And she was like, "You're going to take over the world." And I was like, "Wait, say that again?" She was like, "Take over the world." And I was like, "Wait, okay, the takeover. How about the takeover?" And I think that's where it created everything back in 2017. And what it really means, though, man, is the fact that even now, you could be young, you could be anything like that. People can underestimate you, but as long as you stay focused on what's at task, and you're just beating everybody in front of you, you're beating the top competition in front of you, you're taking over, and a lot of that comes with even now, the new generation. We are taking over. You got the Shakur Stevensons, Edgar Berlanga. You have so many. You got Jaron Boots Ennis. You have so many guys that are in the cusp of taking over as well. And it's a great feeling for this new generation coming up.
It's so funny you say that, because we had Shakur Stevenson on the show, and I asked him about the future of boxing, and he said, myself, Teofimo Lopez, he said, we will carry this sport for the next generation. So it's funny that you mentioned them.
Me and Shakur, we talk about this. We're like the heads of leading the way for the new generation, him and I. So we talk about it. He was like, "Go do your thing, and you started off, but I'm right there with you. We're gonna do this together." So we talk back and forth about it. So it's pretty cool.
Now, I love asking fighters this: if it's up to Teofimo, put management aside, give me your next 3 opponents.
My next 3 opponents. All right. If the Ramirez-Taylor fight happens at 140 and they fight, the winner out of that would be a great opportunity right there. Another fight would be Tank Davis. Another fight also would be either Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. But the thing is that they would have to probably meet me somewhere in the middle of either weight class or any of those sorts. I think honestly, even my mandatories, I'm willing to take anything and everything. We beat the toughest guy that a lot of people weren't willing to face, and I think now it comes to a point where we're just gonna take over anyone else that is willing to step up to the plate.
Yeah. How long do you see yourself at 135? How many more fights at 135?
That's the thing. I don't know if it was a 10-month layoff. I don't know if it was due to the pandemic, and during that time, I was a little bit stressed out. The fact that we couldn't make the fight happen during, myself and Loma in April. Then we pushed it for May. I didn't have problems making the weight. I just felt lighter than I did with the Comey fight, if that makes sense. Dense-wise, I just felt a little lighter than I usually feel at that weight. So I don't know. I think really now it's just about we're just scouting right now at the moment. Scouting who's going to be our next victim and who's going to be our next guy to pretty much set the tone for us for what's at task for Teofimo.
So do you see yourself going to 140, in a year's time or
I say half a year from that.
About a year from now.
About 6 months to a year, I see myself. Okay. And if not, I don't know, man. I think that's why I'm still trying to stay active as much as possible. I am a big 135-pounder. However, I've been at this weight for 7 years. There is a high possibility that I will be moving up to 140 soon,
And I was going to say your next fight, but you would see when would you see your next fight? If in your mind, when do you see Teofimo back in the ring?
Right now, I'm getting my house built from scratch, and I'm waiting for that. It should be done by mid-January. We're talking about, and I'm converting my 3-car garage into a mini gym, so that's real nice. I'm thankful for that. Now it's just really what we've been talking about is maybe March, April. That's what it looks like. Madison Square Garden is the number one priority right there. That's the number one place that we want to do it, and where we want to make it happen, to come back with all the belts. And just have fans. That's the problem, though. That's where we're trying to shoot for, is the fans.
And I would assume that your next fight will still be at 135, then.
Hopefully. Yeah. That's the plan still as of right now. We still, like I said, scouting. We're trying to see now. We seen what Devin Haney did. We see what Tank did. Tank did it at 130. So I don't know if he will shoot up to 135 yet. Even though I know that they said the belts were at 35 and 30. And then now we're just waiting for Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell.
What did you think? What did you think of Gervonta's performance, the uppercut, and the performance against Leo Santa Cruz?
I think it was a great matchup until it wasn't. Tank Davis, he's the bigger guy, and I think we all knew that. We all knew that coming into the fight, that he was someone that would definitely hurt Leo Santa Cruz, and we just didn't know what punch he would do it with. And, that came to in the 6th round, and I think, honestly, it showed before that, though, that Leo Santa Cruz had gotten the best out of him. He just he didn't have the punching power, or, he didn't have that to push Davis back.
We've seen video of you and Tank. I think you guys were teens at the time, were sparring. And I think it was maybe your father who was taping it. What do you remember about that? And how long ago was that when you and Tank got that sparring session? And it looked like it was going on in Vegas, I would assume.
Oh, no, actually that sparring was, I was 15 and Tank was 18. So I was 15 at the time. I think I was about 120. I was fighting at 118 at that time. I was fighting either 119 or 125 during that time. And what I can remember from it, I mean, Tank was already pro. He was a bigger guy. You could see the frame on him, and he looked like a tank. Things have changed now. We're talking about from 15 and now almost 10 years ago. it's a big difference. So I think it's a great matchup if that ever comes about. It's going to be difficult though with things that are being said. With Floyd Mayweather saying that he will have to be the A side and stuff like that. Those are the things that don't make a fight happen. I'm willing to. I don't know what else do people want from Teofimo. I shown that we'll take a lower cut to make this fight happen because the price afterwards is better. It's worth it. It's an investment right there. You gotta lose money to make money, correct? Yeah. So I think that's the only difficult problem, and I think that's probably Floyd's gateway to make sure that Tank doesn't have to face a caliber fighter like myself. And now we just got to focus on who else is there to step up to the plate. We have Devin Haney, but Devin Haney just was a poor performance. That's someone that definitely has the skill sets to make a great fight, but that's later down in the years. I don't think that it will be as big as it probably will be in, let's say, in the near future, or in the future. So now what's left is Brian Garcia and Luke Campbell, or my mandatories. So it's just, there's many matchups.
So let's take them one by one. Ryan Garcia says, you are not the king of the lightweight division. What are your thoughts on a Teofimo Ryan Garcia fight? I know Bob Arum said it would probably be the most lucrative fight in the lightweight division. When do you think we could see a Teofimo Ryan Garcia fight?
I am the king of the lightweight division. There's no way around it. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, it is shown there. When we stood up to the plate, when the Lomachenko fight was offered, we took it. There was many other fighters that wanted to wait, like Tank Davis himself wanted to wait till 2022, and there's so many guys. So if we want to talk about all these things, a fight with Ryan Garcia, I just have to see what he has to do first. You know what I mean? He does have the fan base, and he does have that's going for him. However, he is about to face with someone that definitely does have the skill sets to beat him. So I think that fight is a 50-50 matchup. And he has to do his part first before we even get to that. That's the real truth. I can't say that, a Ryan Garcia fight could happen and then Luke Campbell does something. So, and everything's forgotten. So, honestly, yeah.
Devin Haney says you can't be undisputed until you fight him. You called his fight with Gamboa an email champion performance. Explain that to us.
Yeah, it's a good one. The whole thing, man. Devin Haney, great talent, man. Great talent. It's just that who has he beat for that belt when he got it? If they ever even gave it to him about, and whoever he faced was, I think, ranked in the 100. He was either in the top 100 that he faced. Everything happened with Mauricio Suleiman. A lot of things with the WBC. The way Mauricio is moving these belts is it's frustrating. It really is, because I am the undisputed lightweight world champion, and there's others that are saying I'm not. So it is frustrating at that point. But however, Devin Haney with the WBC, he had I guess he won the interim, correct? Yeah, won the interim, and for some reason, I never petitioned though. You know that, right? I never petitioned for the franchise belt, ever. What Mauricio said is winner takes that belt. So if that's the case, then that means I am the undisputed lightweight world champion. Because if someone, hypothetically speaking, in a whole nother world, someone was to beat me, they could collect that belt as well. You don't have to petition for it. So I don't know where these guys get this from. Lomachenko did what he had to do. He did what he did. Doesn't reflect on me. He had the WBC championship when he beat Luke Campbell for the vacant one. And he is the rightful WBC world champion. The only thing is that they elevated Devin Haney. And I don't think that he has the actual belt. I believe he has an email belt.
An email belt. That's great. And you talked about Gervonta. Could you see a Teofimo Gervonta fight 2021 or 2022?
I could see it the end of this year with a broken foot. I mean, absolutely. I don't know what a lot of these guys, man, whether they talk about money and everything like that. I don't think that they're looking for the glory. They're looking just for a paycheck. And I understand that, yes, we risk our lives doing this, but there's so much more. You get more respect out of fighting the best, instead of looking and carrying yourself that you got to keep that O and that perfect record of or that knockout streak to go along with it. Brian Custer, you're never going to have issues with me stepping up to the plate, ever. I think I've shown that, and I think I proved that to everyone. However, it's everyone on that side, the B side, that are not stepping up to that, stepping to the plate. And if anything, they may need to face themselves to show something. If me and Lomachenko face each other, why don't they do a matchup between one another? Show something. Show something.
Yeah. What do you when people come at you and they say you're not undisputed, what is Teofimo's response to that?
You're a Devin Haney fan, or you support that area. You don't understand what's really going on. And you may not know the insides of it. So that everybody has their opinions, but I think everyone that does know boxing, and like yourself, Brian, that have been in the sport for many, many years, probably longer than I have been in the pro game for sure. I think you guys know that who is the actual undisputed world champion is Teofimo Lopez. So that matters. These are all casual fans. They only ride along with those that are winning for that moment, and then they move on to whoever else is next. So it doesn't bother me. However, I just look at it like, I did that part. Now let's do that 140.
Is the lightweight division the best division in boxing now?
I believe so. I believe it's the most. It is the most top-notch fighters, top caliber fighters in that division right now. Unlike 147, 147 definitely has high-leveled skilled fighters in that weight division as well. But I think the weight division that is making the most noise is 135. I mean, you have Odell Beckham Jr., who wrote to me. He says that that's all he tunes into is the lightweight division. I mean, that's big stuff. So, I think that we're making big noise, and there's a lot of potential fights that will happen. That will happen. I promise you, and I guarantee you to the fight fans that will happen. It's just a matter of when and where. And I think that is the problem. We step up to anything. Just understand, don't disrespect the king. The king is the A side, And
that's Teofimo Lopez.
You got that right.
Mikey Garcia says he would entertain coming down to 140 for a fight against Teofimo Lopez. What's your response?
It's crazy, man. That's when you're doing big things. They calling you out. They need that. So I think that it's those are potential fights, of course, man. I'm willing to step up to all those things, man. However, is what does Mikey Garcia bring to the table for me? He's been out the radar for a while now. I even thought he retired at one point. So there's so many options, and we could definitely make happen. I won't be surprised if Adrian Broner calls me out. I mean, but I think that Broner has his respect with me, so I think that we work on that. He wrote to me. He said, "Good job, youngin. You killed it." So, I take my hat off to that, and I appreciate it, man.
That's good stuff. That's good. Look, you've never been shy about telling people how you really feel. Have you always been like that?
Yeah, man. My father. Have you met my father, bro?
I've corresponded with him, but I have not met him in person.
Oh man, yeah. I guess it's that New York bred part of me. I may not have lived in New York for that long, but growing up with my father was he lived in New York probably for like his whole life. So when they have something to say, they just say it. And some people may not like it. I just call it how it is and how I see it.
Yeah. You definitely do that. Listen, you've never been shy about your feelings. I think somebody had asked you about Deontay Wilder and some of the reasons why he's come up with why he lost to Fury. And I think you said, "Stop acting like a bitch." Tell me, what went into that? How is he acting like a bitch in your estimation?
Okay, so I'm not discrediting his manhood. All right, let's say that. Okay, I'm not bashing his manhood. We know Deontay Wilder is a beast, an animal, and he's a bomber. He's a bomber. So when it comes to it though, I look at it as stop complaining about something that many people thought happened last year because of COVID, but it actually happened the beginning of this year. So a lot of people even think when I tell them, I'm like, this fight happened earlier this year. They're like, wait, what? I thought it was last year. So to get to the point, to talk about all those things and say that, your corner spiked your water and making so many, I can't say excuses, but just finding ways to say why you lost along with the 40-pound vest that you had worn walking in. It doesn't look good in his image. If anything, I'm trying to influence the man to tell him the truth. Go back to the gym. You've had too much time in your hands. Go get a fight. Go look for a fight, whether it's with Dylan White or someone of those sorts. Even if you want that tune-up fight, you could have that, and show everyone why you are still one of the top guys in the heavyweight division. So, if I'm calling someone a bitch, it's just because you are acting like one. You are acting like one. No one cares about how you feel, Deontay. No one does. Even if you put it out there. Oh man, I feel bad that you got a dent on your head. No. This is the fight game. This is war. This is a man's sport. And if you're looking for closure and if you're looking for comfort, you're not gonna get it here. And if anything, people are gonna criticize you for it. So if anything, I'm just trying to look out for the man. And that's the thing though. People aren't gonna take one thing that Teofimo said, and that was calling him a bitch.
Yeah.
I call myself a bitch when I'm acting like one, because there's many times where it comes to about where like, hey man, snap out of it. Yeah. Even on blood, sweat, and tears, I'm like, I ain't no bitch. So, and it's just to remind yourself, hey, step up your game, stop complaining, get back to work.
Got it. I got it. What's the message Teofimo has for, let's say, Floyd Mayweather Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya, and Golden Boy going forward? Because obviously they represent some of the big fighters there at your weight class. What's the message you have for them? Because I know a number of people want to see you against Tank, want to see you against Ryan Garcia, want to see you against Haney. What's the message you have to them, to those promoters?
To the promoters, man, to the guys that I even looked up to growing up to this sport, and thank you guys for paving the way. But you guys are no longer in the sport as in competition. Let these young guys get the exposure. Let them get their respect in those ways. Let them fight the best, just like you guys both did, just like you guys showed us. I think that's the change now. These guys are put my respect as well. I earned it. I beat the top guy that many of you guys didn't think your young cats would do. And so I am the A side. Just know that they are not going to get what you expect them to get. However, they have more opportunities, and that is I have all the belts. So that I bring a lot to the table. Don't fuck this up. And to all you guys, to the promoters, man, let's just make big fights happen, man. I think that this is a new era. We are young. We're hungry. We have many ways to come back if they lose. And you guys are the promoters, man. So let's do this. You guys are no longer in the business in that aspect. And I understand you trying to take care of your fighters, but let them fly. Let them fly.
Yeah. You mentioned your father. He's certainly your trainer. How would you describe that relationship?
Me and my father, man, it's definitely been a roller coaster ride for sure. However, though, I wouldn't want to no other way. His birthday is in, what's today, the 10th? His birthday's in 2 days. My father's birthday's in 2 days, so he'll be 52. And I'm just blessed and thankful that I get to have my old man another year. It's a love-hate relationship at times. It's a father and son situation at times, and what it comes with is, we have the coach and trainer. And what I look forward to, man, is the end of this year, man. Fighter of the Year, Teofimo Lopez. Trainer of the Year, Teofimo Lopez Sr. And Manager of the Year, David McWhorter. I mean, that's something that I definitely would put the icing on the cake and the cherry on the top for 2020.
Yeah. Why does it seem, though, sometimes in this sport, when the father's the trainer, it doesn't work out?
I think, you know, why it may not is just because you have to understand that there's going to be disagreements, there's going to be arguments, and there's going to be things that we may not see eye to eye. And what happens, though, it turns into a personal situation rather than just business. And that messes up a lot of things, rather than having just a random coach that you've worked with throughout your years, and he's not your father. He doesn't have nothing personal with you. He's not your blood, but yet he is your coach. It's a little bit different, you know, because you guys, at the end of the night, once the fight is over, you guys go back to your lives again, you know, rather than with the father and son, you guys still see each other, you guys still with each other, and you guys are still around each other because he's your father. I think that's the problem. You can't mix business with pleasure. You can't mix business with personal. And I think that's where me and my father were finding that medium now, you know, that, hey, this is nothing personal. This is just business. You're my coach. This is the percentage you get. You have the best of both worlds. I have the best of both worlds. And I'm always going to take care of you no matter what, because I am your son at the same time. And I think that really comes to about. I mean, you still have many fighters that have their fathers with them and training them and in their corner. And I'm just happy to see that still be about, you know.
And you led into a question I had for you. Do you think after this victory you just had, should Teofimo Lopez be Fighter of the Year?
I absolutely believe so. Absolutely. And with great honor, I think that it deserves right that I do. I think that a lot of things have happened, but overall, man, just the fact that the type of fight we had, the type of grit that we showed in the last round, and the fact that the history behind what we just did as the youngest, whether they want to call it the youngest 3-belt holder, the second youngest, or the youngest 4-belt holder, we made history. I believe that the Fighter of the Year definitely candidate is Teofimo Lopez, and I really believe so. I hope the fans and everyone else can see that as well.
Teofimo, for everyone who comes on the show, we allow them to submit questions, man. And we got a number of them for you, so let's get right to them. We'll start from Twitter. This one comes from Rich. He says, rank in order: yourself, Tank, Haney, and Ryan Garcia.
Just like that, in that order.
So Teofimo, Tank, Haney,
Yep.
and then Ryan Garcia.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
It says this one from Twitter. It says, do you feel motivated to go after Tank and Haney because they have the 2 regular belts?
No, I'm not motivated for that. I'm more motivated for the fact that, you know, I'm the man. I beat the man that was the man, and the fact that just to put more on my shoulder and just to rub it in everybody else's face, I'd rather beat these guys as well too. So that's the only thing that's motivated me.
This one comes from Twitter. Ronnie Boy. He says, will you fight the winner of Ramirez Taylor when you move up to 140?
Absolutely. That is 100%. We are under the same promotional company. We are under the same network. So I think that it shouldn't be no issues whatsoever. It should be just like as smooth as it was with the Lomachenko fight.
We kind of discussed this one. This one comes from @BuddyLee on Twitter. He says, if you see Deontay Wilder in person, would you still call him a bitch to his face?
Yeah, I would tell him like, hey, man, with all due respect and everything, just you sounding like a bitch. So, and whether he takes it and, you know, that's the thing though. You know, I would talk to him first and tell him why, and then tell him, man, this is why you sound like a bitch. But you're not a bitch. You just sound like one.
Right. That's funny. This one comes from Facebook. Says, why are you ducking Haney and Tank?
I'm not. I don't. That's crazy, man. It's crazy how they say it, man. You gotta love them. You gotta love them. You gotta love them.
Boxing social media, you can never win with them.
I know. Tell me about it.
Okay, Teofimo, we've come to the last segment of this show. We call it The Last Stand. I'm asking you a series of questions. You can give me the first thing, not the second, that comes to your mind. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Most dangerous fighter at 135, not named Teofimo Lopez.
Teofimo Lopez Jr.
Biggest puncher at 135.
Teofimo Lopez Jr.
Who's the one fighter that upsets you the most?
Ooh, I was gonna say Devin Haney.
And why does Devin Haney upset you the most?
Because he has a fake belt.
In your opinion, where should Teofimo Lopez be ranked on the pound-for-pound list?
Top 5.
Nice. And then last but not least, who's the best fighter to come out of Brooklyn?
Ooh. There's a new era, so Teofimo Lopez. I'm going with the new era. You saw that, right?
Right. I love the caveat, the new era. Yeah, I love it. Champ, this was great, man. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. It's great that you spent some time with us, and I wish you nothing but the greatest success in the future.
Thank you so much, Brian. And man, I had a great one on this one, man. This was definitely fun. This was definitely worth it.
Absolutely. Folks, that's what we do here on The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in sports and entertainment. And listen, it doesn't get any bigger in the sport of boxing than Teofimo Lopez. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.